Skip it about it do. Pull that on out. What is it trying to do? All right, I'm going to see if I can give us a slightly better view. How about we try it this way? Skip it a do. All right, folks, let's see if this is like a slightly better. Hi, yeah. That could have been a disaster. Oh, goodness. That could have been bad. This is what happens when you're recording off location. So, hello, everyone. Commander Ship here, giving you a remote State of the Nerd Union. So, I don't have Jerry or Steve with me today, but we're still got news to talk about. And yesterday, Super Mario Brothers trailer dropped, whether we wanted it or not. Mortal Kombat's 30th anniversary is this Sunday, so we'll talk about the celebrations and things coming out there. Although no new game releases, so we didn't get any new game drops. On top of that, Oregon Trail. Was that the movie? Is that the movie that we really wanted? Is that what you wanted? Feeling about as nervous as those penguins in Super Mario 64. But we'll get to all of that and more on State of Nerd Union starting right now. Da, da, da. This is where our beautiful intro music will come on if you're listening to us on the podcast. And eventually we're going to have some cool graphics here for the video portion as well. So I'm excited. Hey, remember, if you were on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, we can see your comments live. I'll read them and show them up on the screen. So definitely want you to be able to participate. If there's something you want me to talk a little bit more on, definitely let me know. This tends to go faster when I don't have a co-host. So the show really can happen in like 30 minutes flat. So when I don't have someone bouncing stuff off of, it tends to be faster. Hope you all enjoy it, and let's get into our quick bites. So if you are an Amazon Prime member, Fallout 76 is free for you. You can go download it for PC right now. And we got that from Tom's Guide. And you may be wondering, Fallout 76? Wasn't that game terrible? Well, it has been patched considerably since the game's initial release, and it might be right up your alley. So that'd be something to consider. Again, if you have Amazon Prime and you want to get a free game to download on your PC, give it a try. Again, it's almost in the, I wouldn't call it in the same cyberpunk vein as far as like the amount of improvement and quality, but it is a much better experience than when it initially came out. Coming up next, director Ryan Johnson and Netflix announced Knives Out 2 and 3 were coming on to Netflix a year and a half ago. We've seen the new trailers come out for Glass Onion. And if you want to see it in theaters, if you're like, I really wanted to see this in theaters before it debuts on Netflix, you're in luck. It's coming out on Thanksgiving weekend this November, before it drops on the streamer in December on Netflix. So definitely a good time to check it out and support this film in a different way than just with your streaming time. And I'm super excited because there's Dave Bautista and Janelle Monáe, like Ed Norton, whole new cast coming in. But Kathryn Hahn, I'm going to get to see a screening of it at the Chicago Film Festival. I won't be able to push my review out. I'll have to wait a little bit until November, because no spoilers. It's a mystery movie, so no spoilers. But I'm really excited to cover that. Hopefully get ask her a couple questions and stuff. Really excited about that. So really excited, grateful to the Chicago Film Festival crew for allowing Nerd Union to come in and cover that, and really stoked to hopefully meet her and get a preview of Glass Onion, the latest in the Knives Out series. So really excited. Ooh, so another quick bite. Ice Cube was on the, let me make sure I get it right, Drink Champs, on the Drink Champs podcast. It was a part of LL Cool J's Serious Festival. And he was talking about hopefully wanting to move the Friday franchise away from Warner Brothers. So he talked about he's pitched different ideas for new sequels, but most of them are shot down. Which is not, in his words, that Warner Brothers doesn't seem to really be supporting the culture, and that's not surprising. If Warner Brothers doesn't think they're going to be able to get enough money from the Ice Cube, or sorry, not from Ice Cube, from the Friday franchise, while they want to hold on to the residuals, putting more money in to make a new sequel may not be in their benefit. And given how much chaos has been over there in the last couple of years, I'm not surprised either, to be completely transparent. So this may not be so much about Black culture and Ice Cube, but just more of chaos in the house of Warner Brothers. But you can go check that out on the Drink Champs podcast to hear his full. And he talked about more than just Friday, but specifically the subject came up of why have there been no new Friday sequels. And lastly, and something that I think most of us have known or assumed about the character Velma on the show Scooby-Doo, but it's been made canon in a new movie called Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo. Velma's been officially confirmed as lesbian. So kudos to the cast and crew doing that for the new animated feature. I'm sure moms and dads everywhere will be a little upset, ones that are like head in the sand, head in the closet. But really, if you've been watching Scooby-Doo for any amount of time, especially once the live action versions came out, I think if you didn't get it when it was live action, it definitely was very apparent in the live action shows. Live action movie. Sorry, the live action movies, because there were 2 live action movies. And if you're upset at that subject matter, given how much weed and other things were talked about in Scooby-Doo or coded for kids, that argument doesn't really hold a lot of water for me. So, yeah, but hope that helps out a new generation of kids that see themselves in Velma. And again, that's we know. So this is just doing things we already confirmed and like making it more out in public. Cool. So that's all for the quick bites. We're going to move right into the Cinephiles segment. There is more movie news than this, but you can check that out Monday night when we do an episode of Content Not Found. Content Not Found is our new movie streaming podcast. You remember it used to be self-titled under commandership. I'll be honest, I felt a little narcissistic. And while I'm still going to have a self-titled show, it's going to be covering some other topics. So Content Not Found is our new movie podcast and TV. We're covering movies and TV. And you'll hear us talk about some weekly wrap-ups from things that happened during the week, do movie reviews through that. It's still going to be happening on the Nerd Union channel, so you don't have to go anywhere else to go find it, but you'll be finding it there. So we got some more movie news to talk there, but we'll give you a little bit of what's happened throughout the week here. First thing, if you want Netflix's ad tier and you don't want to watch commercials during your movie, they might agree with you. So for any Netflix original movie, they're currently tossing around the idea of during the first time you watch it, no commercials. And then subsequent rewatches, there might be a commercial dropped in here or there to help support that tier. Additionally, if you have kids and they're watching kids content, now I didn't know what the reason was for this, though if I had to hazard a guess, an ad-supported tier of children's content could be problematic for what you're aiming at the kids, although commercials have been a part of when I was growing up, Saturday morning cartoons. I turned out all right with the ads during my cartoons. That's probably not a great argument for that. Not a great argument at all. But what it actually might be, it could be an attention thing, right? Like if we have ads on, might break the kids' concentration on what they're watching. Thus, that thing is not as effective for the adult that wants to use it for their child. But there might be also an insidious thing there if Netflix wanting to keep your child on their streaming service for a long time. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm just throwing a couple possibilities out there why they may want to do that, why it may be beneficial for parents. So if you had to guess right now with this next story, do you think streaming has overtaken TV? The answer may shock you. More at 5 p.m. I'm kidding. Uh, the answer is no, at least from the data we can collect. And then this has gotten harder over the years because we have less and less, even though Nielsen ratings help us a lot of information on terrestrial, like normal TV and cable, that data has been getting smaller and smaller. Additionally, streaming numbers, unless a streamer tells you like their subscriber base, excuse me, unless they give you the subscriber base, and if they also tell you like how many people are watching in particular, it's hard for us to get that data. Samba TV is one that tries to collect TV from just smart TVs, and even they have to admit like we're limited. Like if you're playing it on your Xbox, we don't know. If you're watching it on your phone, we don't know, right? So there's still gaps in information. So you have to take even what I'm about to tell you with a grain of salt because there could be more people streaming outside of these numbers that we just don't have information for. Let's see. And we got Doug on the stream. Hey, Doug. Good to see you. Let's see. So streaming popularity, at least by Nielsen ratings, has overtaken cable TV. So that old adage of what we expected that streaming was going to fight and or kill cable may very well be on its way. Now, again, total TV viewing, no, streaming has not taken that over, but this is worth to note, like it's starting to creep up. And what I'd really be interested in is what happens if we can get more data on the streaming. Has it already overtaken traditional TV? That's been everyone's inclination. That's been my inclination as well. And given that it's at, let's see, broadcast TV is at 21%, streaming's at 34.8, cable's at 34.4. So if you're like, that doesn't seem to add up. So hold on a second. Streaming at 34.8. So it just started being cable. If you think of TV together with broadcast and cable, that still is beating streaming. So really the question is streaming closer to that 50% than we think it is, right? We don't know. And in that breakout, it's surprising who's winning. Who's like in second and third place. Netflix is still number one at 8% out of that pie of streaming. YouTube is next. So they count YouTube in traditional streaming, which makes sense. YouTube TV and different things like that, and just YouTube videos overall. And then it goes to Hulu, Prime Video, and toward the bottom is HBO Max and Disney. So as much as they've thrown money at these platforms and gained a lot of new subscribers, they still haven't cracked into that in that top three, even with all that money spent on the content. I find that a little concerning. Like, again, I know they're trying hard to gain them the subscriber bases, and that's a lot of money they've thrown at it, but that feels worrisome. I can explain that more in another segment, but that's a little concerning. Cool. This has already really made the rounds on social, but so Trevor Noah will be stepping down from The Daily Show at some point next year. The details weren't completely expressed, and I don't think honestly, it doesn't sound like the plan has been laid out by Comedy Central or Trevor either. I think he's just kind of letting folks know. And if you go online, Roy Wood Jr. has actually got some funny back and forth with Trevor right now about because he was apparently talking to him when the announcement was coming out, and he was on there when the announcement came out, and it's just like, I don't want to be associated with it. I don't want people blaming me for you leaving The Daily Show, which I get it, Roy. I get it. Trevor's been a great host for the years he's been on the show. It's been a really good, I think, and also navigated us through a pandemic, in the behind the scenes segment for Daily Show into becoming a staple of it. Just him talking to the crowd. And I remember the time Anna Kendrick walked out. That was really fun as well. So there you go. Good luck for Trevor Noah on The Daily Show, and I hope it goes well for him, whatever he does next. Next up, Bruce Willis, deep fakes. Do you want to make a movie of Bruce Willis using his deep fake? I say he's cool with it in quotes. Doug asks a good question. I'll get back to you in just a sec. So earlier this year, we learned that Bruce Willis has aphasia, which affects his motor skills and memory skills. And reports were saying that the last movies he did, his handlers kind of seemed to just throw him at new projects, probably just to make a buck, which is really concerning. So when we hear that he's licensed his name, image, and likeness, that's not familiar. Name, image, and likeness for AI deepfakes, kind of seems like it might be in that same boat. Again, I'm not saying that this may, and obviously for the way forward, this is probably the best way for him to still earn money and be seen in the public, but it's just that's a little worrisome. It's a little concerning. Just to be completely honest, like knowing what was happening and how he's being handled, it was worrisome. So I'm going to get to Doug's comment real quick. Let's show on screen. Who is the demographic of Daily Show viewers who are still watching on cable? I don't know. That's a good question though. I'd have to imagine most people watching Daily Show probably doing that online on YouTube. So yeah, good question. But I'd like to find out. Good question. Dun, dun, dun. We got just a little bit more. Dun, dun, dun. It's game time. So Ellie Fanning is set to star in a new Hideo Kojima game. We don't know the title of it, but it's very similar to Norman Reedus being announced for Death Stranding. We knew he was going to be in it. Got some stills of it, some early stills, and then that early trailer came out and announced the title for Death Stranding. So we got some promo photos, like Where Am I? And showed photos of Ellie on the Twitter page for Hideo Kojima's studios. And so no idea yet what that's going to, no idea yet what this game's even about, but just interesting seeing like the new title character. And if you like Death Stranding like I did, I'm really excited to see what happens. So I think it's going to be good. Now this next one, CD Projekt Red's announcing new projects. How about you finish and get something? Okay, to be fair, they did fix Cyberpunk, which we already talked about earlier in the show. So it is better, but they have announced a new Witcher trilogy, probably also going to bank on the success of the new Netflix series. They've got a new original IP called Hadar and a sequel in the works for Cyberpunk along with new DLC. So personally, my line of order of things I want to see first, let's get that DLC for Cyberpunk out first. And I don't know why we're worrying about Cyberpunk 2, unless it's going to be like a Destiny 2 kind of upgrade, right, to the overall world and give stories. Like that could be cool. But let's just continue improving the experience first for that before you move on to something else. That's my opinion. That's my book. All right, next up. We already talked about Sunday is Mortal Kombat's 30th anniversary. Oh, excuse me, folks. Seems like it's been a long time since Mortal Kombat was inventing the M rating, maturity rating. I mean, it's not, I know, but it's more than that. But one of the biggest spearheads for that. And there's no new game on the horizon. Ed Boon said they're more focused on the anniversary celebration for the end of the year. And but after that, you should be looking forward to a new game or something new coming out in the series. So he said, again, per his words, next game is coming. Don't worry. But we just got it mainly focused on the anniversary. And if you played X or XL, those have been really solid additions, really fun 3D Mortal Kombat games. So I really like them. What that's going to mean going forward, not sure. Like what's new, or like you got Tekken 8 getting ready to come out sometime next year, Street Fighter 6. So like, where is it going to land in between those two, or like what's going to set it apart this go around? Not sure, but really excited to see. All right. This one's pretty simple, but Steam and PlayStation Link, if you've been wanting to show your Steam profile and have connections to that on your PlayStation, you can finally do that. So there were some hints of that connectivity and to be able to see that activity back and forth earlier in the year. But now it's confirmed and you actually can go ahead and add it on your PlayStation profile. So now you can get those things connected together. And it's just really nice when friends can chime in and let you know when they're on doing something else. You can see when they're, without having to leave your PlayStation network or your console to go check that out. An update to a story we did last week regarding, 2 weeks ago regarding tattoos in NBA 2K regarding LeBron James and other NBA stars. A St. Louis judge has ruled that they do need to pay damages for using that tattoo in the previous NBA 2K games. So they really did not think that was going to hold water and that a judge would announce it. Again, that is in a in a St. Louis, which is surprising. That's where I'm from, that's where I'm at now. It's surprising that happened. There's still opportunities for that to be appealed, which I assume Take Two 2K will do, and we'll see how far that goes. Now that could open some floodgates because it's not just tattoos. There could be a variety of different items, in-game items that they've created or crafted that they didn't pay the company to include that in. That could get dinged really hard if this tattoo lawsuit goes through. I do think it's important because if someone has done work and copyrighted it to be put on, to be used in the medium that they originally intended it for, and you've taken it out of that context, you should be compensated for that. So it is a floodgate per se because they hadn't taken care of it before this point. So yeah, we'll let you know. We'll keep tabs on that and let you know how that turns out. And really, this next one's not a surprise, honestly. Less people were watching gaming streams this year compared to 2021. And I think the biggest reason is we were all stuck in a pandemic during 2020 and 2021. So for 2022 to have less people watching game streams, just really not that big of a shocker. Facebook gaming, though, really took the biggest hit. So a lot of people were still watching Twitch, maybe watching YouTube. YouTube definitely increased during this time period, and Twitch has definitely had some decrease. But Facebook gaming took the biggest hit out of those three major streamers. You know, they gained a lot of people once Microsoft's ended. Microsoft Gaming ended, and people moved over to Facebook. But yeah, there's been a lot of some of that downshift is natural. People are going back out traveling now and not gaming as much. People are still gaming. Gaming is still very healthy, but not a surprise, honestly, compared to what we were doing just 2 years ago. And that is all for game time. We've got a couple stories on Check the Tech, and then we're going to talk about Super Mario. If you have not hit the subscribe button, do me a favor. Go hit it. If it's up here, if it's up there, if it's down there, it's somewhere. But make sure you subscribe. Because how are you going to find out when we're talking about other stuff? Come on, folks. Think about it. All right. For Instagram users, you're probably not going to like this, but you're getting more ads. It's just happening. As Meta's profits have gone down in the last quarter, they're trying to find more and more ways to get pennies out of us. So in your Explore tab and on your own user posts, so as you're scrolling for your own posts, you might see ads in between those posts. These are where the new nooks and crannies where they're going to try to fit ads into the space. Come on, Meta. Come on. I don't think that's going to make people really excited to scroll back through their own profiles, though. And especially if they already have the photos on their phone. I would just go back and, like, if the experience is that ugly, I just go back and look at my own photos on my phone. So I don't know if that's going to be as effective as they think it's going to be. That might be a huge turnoff to the experience. Now this one, I have an article coming out from an AI conversation we had at Star Trek Las Vegas convention, and we were talking about AI rights. So the White House on Tuesday, from the Science and Technology Policy Division, released a long-awaited and what's called as a blueprint for the AI Bill of Rights, or the BOR. This document will help guide the design, development, and deployment of artificial intelligence and other automated systems so that it may protect the rights of the American public. Now, when they say an AI Bill of Rights, it seems like it's, again, that last phrase is where I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's to protect AI. It seems like it's more to protect, again, they said the rights of the American public, which, again, I'm not disputing that's important. But that when I hear, again, the phrasing, when I hear AI Bill of Rights, it sounds like it should be for AI. And whether they'll actually be included in that, because we've heard our first reports of sentience from AI and Google, though we could really find no other documentation on that. So that's a longer conversation. And so there's apparently going to be 5 principles, which we'll put in the show notes if you want to dive into it deeper and get into that press release. And actually, maybe what we'll do is when I finish that Star Trek article, we can dovetail and dive into this more, because it's an ethical quandary, to say the least. And there's a reason there's been multiple episodes of television and papers and lots of studies increasing. So the point that we even got to this point is major. I'm really surprised we even. It's shocking that I'm even talking to you about this right now and it's happening. So yeah, which dovetails into our next AI conversation, which Google and Meta are facing off in their video creation AIs. So if you've been doing those photo generation AIs, Meta had one. Let's see, it was Make a Video is what theirs was called, and then I'm trying to remember. Imagen was Google's answer to that. They were already working on it separately, but Google just decided to give some teasers of what theirs can do, and this just creates rudimentary videos. tongue-tied and twisted. Of whatever content that you put in there. So if you just give a description, it very much works just like the image generator that you all have been playing with, and providing information to the AI so it can eventually figure itself out. Self-aware and all that. So, yeah, but it's actually kind of cool. I'm interested what that's going to mean long term, and how that information is being used, given the two companies that we're talking about, Google and Meta. So that's an very interesting conversation. And when I say interesting, I mean, are you okay with how they're using your data, and are you okay with what that data is going to be used for, specifically in regards to AI, like what it's training it to do? Because some of this can be in the same ways that a deep fake is made. The better an AI gets used to making videos, and if you have information to create a deep fake, you bring that in, like that's where like some that could be automating that process. So much so in AI, you could tell an AI to pull a deep fake of a specific person, create this video. Like that's the paths. Those are the concerns that we got to be talking about. So is it cool, the utilization of this? Sure. But we have really not fought through and pushed back or talked enough on any of this. So it's probably a high time we have an AI conversation on the site. So I'll let you know when we're able to put that together. But just giving you Google's answer on this just came out regarding Imagens, came out this week, to kind of tease some of that. So you can definitely go check it out in the show notes, and let me know what you think about it. Go head over to the Discord and you can drop a line to me. All right, that is all for Check the Tech, and we're on to our last two topics. Obviously, we'll get to Super Mario in just a second. I'll give you my thoughts on Super Mario. But speaking of movies we really didn't need, and we'll get to the one that we wanted, but maybe didn't want it the way we have it. Oregon Trail is getting a movie from the creators of Lao Lao Crocodile. So that's with, let's see, Josh Gordon and Will Speck. They were with Collider and talked to Steve Wintrob to talk about their adaptation. They talked about Lao Lao Crocodile, but they also talked about this upcoming Oregon Trail. I couldn't make heads or tails what they actually want to do with this movie. So your guess is as good as mine. Is it going to be just a story about people on the Oregon Trail? Is it going to be meta commentary? Like my friend Julie said that about the Lego movie is going to be aware of itself in some way, kind of do a fourth wall break, because that could be cool. Because otherwise, there's been plenty of stories about moving out to the West and the West Run expansion. So it just seems weird that we're going to do that off of a late 80s, 90s video game that we all have some fond or some like upsetting memories about. Dysentery or losing a whole wagon in the water. Like, so I get it. There's an audience for it in the fun sense, but like, if you don't do the fourth wall break, I don't know who's want to go see this movie seriously. So get back to me on that. All right. Yeah. Gordon and Speck, get back to me on that. And lastly, let's talk about Mario. So Trailer comes out. It was during Nintendo's usual Thursday Direct. We get Bowser's ship crashing down in front of a apparently penguin kingdom now. I didn't know the penguins in the Mario universe were organized. Those chickens are organized. Yeah, didn't realize it was like that. And they pelt snowballs at Bowser. Go check out the video on our page. They pelt snowballs at Bowser, ask him to surrender. He says no, and he blows their castle up with fire. And then we get treated to Mario interacting with Toad, and then they run off together. So get sizzle reel, nice teaser trailer. We hear a little bit of Chris Pratt's voice for Mario, and it's not bad. I know people are upset. People are still upset that Chris Pratt's in the role in the first place, but it's not bad. He's not trying to do an Italian accent. It's not like Jared Leto and House of Gucci and that caricature of an accent. So it's not like that. But it's just, it's okay. It's not bad. We do need to hear him talk more because we didn't really hear any jokes from him or him interact with any other characters. So that's kind of where I think the meat of this is going to be. What is his voice going to sound like when he talks with Keegan Michael Key playing Toad, Donkey Kong played by Seth Rogen, Peach of Anna Taylor-Joy. Like, how is it going to sound like that? Jack Black's voicing Bowser. I think that could be a really fun interaction. So no idea what this is going to sound like. So it's a little early. Again, I know it's one of our favorite plumbers, but our least favorite, Chris in Hollywood. I get it. Chris Pine has worked his way into our hearts the last couple of weeks with Don't Worry, Darling. Totally understand. Totally get it. So let me know. What did you think about the Super Mario trailer? Did you hate it? Do you think it's meh? Need to see more? Or did you love it? I haven't really seen anybody say that yet. So if you loved it, let us know. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you really liked what you heard today or anything else that we've written on the site in the last couple of weeks, because it's October at Nerd Union, so we love Halloween. We love talking about horror movies. That's what we're tackling this month. I've got a film festival coming up, so hear everything from Chicago Film Festival. And so, yeah, if you like that, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdunion and support us that way. And you'll get early access to all the articles and videos and things that we do there. So thank you all for your time. This has been State Nerd Union. I'm Commander Ship, and I'm signing off.